Hello again and welcome to my channel. Today's tutorial is for the wave stitch. It's quite an easy stitch to do. I'm using double knit yarn today and a 5mm hook. The terms that I use are US terms because for me they seem to make more sense. We start with a chain and the chain needs to be in multiples of 10 plus 6. I'm only going to make a small swatch as always, just so that you can see how the stitch works out. So to start, we join the yarn to the hook with a slip knot, and as I say, we've got multiples of 10 plus 6. So I'll work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there we've got 2 multiples of 10, and then we need the extra 6 chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I've got 26 chains all together. We're now going to slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. So it's not this one here, it's this one. So we slip stitch into that stitch, and we're going to slip stitch into the next 4 chains. So we've got 1, 2, oops, not done that very well, start that again, into the stitch, pick up the loop, and we don't yarn over at all, we just go straight through. So we've now slip stitched 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we've slip stitched into the second chain from the hook plus the next 4 chains, and that gives us 5 slip stitches all together. We're now going to work a double crochet into the next 5. So we've got yarn over, pick up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. We're going to do that 5 times. There's 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one is 5. So we've got 5 slip stitches, 5 double crochets. We're now going to slip stitch into the next 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then again we're going to double crochet into each of the next 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains left, and we're going to slip stitch into each of those 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4 and 5. So there's the first row complete. For the second row we're going to turn, and we're working in the back loop only of each of the stitches. We're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into each of the next 4. So we're slip stitching over where we slip stitched on the previous row. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes 5 stitches. We're now going to work a double crochet into each of the doubles from the previous row. I've got 1, 2, just move that out of the way a little bit, 3, 4 and 5. So we've slip stitched over the 5 slip stitches. We've now worked a double into each of the doubles. So back to the 5 slip stitches from the previous row, just going through the 1 loop, we're going to slip stitch each of those 5 stitches. And then double in each of the 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That leaves us with the 5 slip stitches, and we're going to slip stitch into each of those 5. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4 and into the final one. That's 5. At this point I'm going to change colour because the pattern shows up better if we use an alternate colour for the next 2 rows, but if you want to, you can do it all in the one shade. So I'm going to fasten off the yarn and pull the loop through. Turn over, and I'll start with my alternate colour, which in this case is a raspberry colour. So we join with a slip knot onto the hook, and then where we have the 5 stitches that were slip stitches in the previous row, we're now going to work a double into each of these stitches. So join the yarn with a slip stitch, and for the first stitch I'm going to use 3 chain. That's going to count as the first double crochet. So we're now going to work 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, 1 in each of those slip stitches. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and that's going to count as the first stitch, counts as the first double, so we've done in effect 5 doubles. We're now going to slip stitch into the 5 doubles from the previous row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then again we're going to double crochet over each of the next 5 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we're back to the slip stitches, 2, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then in the last 5 stitches we're going to work a double. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 into the final stitch. So again we're going to flip over and we're going to work a double crochet into each of the double crochets and a slip stitch over each of the slip stitches. Just need to unravel the yarn from the ball. Always seems to come out in a big knot. Right, so we're going to work 3 chain, and that's going to count as the first double, and then 1 double in each of the next 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then again we're going to work a slip stitch over the 5 slip stitches from the previous row. 3, 4 and 5, and then 5 doubles, 1 in each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Back to the slip stitch where we're going to work 5 slip stitches over the slip stitches from the previous row. 3, 4 and 5, and then the last 5 doubles will be worked over these 5 doubles from the previous row. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last double will be worked into the top chain of the 3 chain that was the starting stitch. So we just do 1 double into that stitch. So we flip over and we would now start again with the alternate colour. So I'll just snip off the yarn and pull through, and then we'll go back to the original colour, which in this case is blue. Slip knot onto the hook and join into the first stitch with a slip stitch. We're now going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 4 stitches because we've already got the first one where we've joined the yarn. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slip stitches there. We're now going to work a double crochet over the 5 slip stitches from the previous row. 3, 4 and there's the 5th. So we're going to work the same again as we did on these 2 rows, where we're working slip stitches over the doubles and doubles over the slip stitches because we're working the alternate colour. So 5 slip stitches, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, followed by 5 doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That just leaves us the 5 stitches, which is the 4 doubles and the chain that started, and we're just going to work a slip stitch over each of those 5 stitches. So there's 2, 3, 4, and the last one will go into the top of the 3 chain. So we then flip over, and on this row we'll work slip stitch into the slip stitch, doubles into the doubles, and so on to the end of the row. So I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch, 2, 3, it's a little bit tight, that one, 'I think I need to do my slip stitches a little bit looser. There's 4, and the last one is 5, and then 5 doubles, 1 in each of the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then 5 slip stitches over the 5 slip stitches from the previous row, 3, 4 and 5, and then 5 doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That leaves us with the 5 slip stitches from the last row. We're just going to slip stitch over each of those stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then at this point again I would fasten off the blue and join in the alternate colour. You carry on working in exactly the same way. So where you start with the slip stitch, you'll do 5 slip stitches, 5 doubles, 5 slip stitches. Coming back, you're going to work slip stitches over the slip stitches and doubles over the doubles, and you just carry on working those 4 rows as many times as you want to make your project. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.